Hey guys, it's Bianca Sophia. So I was thinking about this 20 and back stuff, right? Alright, so you know how I told you about how that break-in happened or whatever at my halfway house, or three-quarter house. It was a recovery house, right? And I don't know what happened that night, and just weird shit went on, and it was just shit was moved around, and how I saw Michael. But it was Michael, it was Archangel Michael, Super Soldier Michael, standing out of the door, standing outside, right outside my door, but I couldn't see what was going on in the room, right? Well, I've been having flashes, visions of, and this is fucking crazy. And it just clicked, like, the whole 10-10 thing, and the 10 plus 10 is what? Is 20, so 20 years, right? 20 and back, right? I keep seeing like flashes, visions of myself laying in my bed in that room. Oh, fuck. And twin A laying in the other bed. And there's like people around us. And I'm like, what is going on here? What the fuck is going on there? Like, what happened there, right? So, I don't know. This is just a theory at this moment. That, I don't know. Maybe we left for our 20 and back at that time, right? I don't know, but that's and there's like this whole 10-10 thing, and this, you know, I know that we did a 20 and back together, right? And it's just weird. I know some weird shit happened there. Like, what if we were returned, right? We left in that time, but we also were returned in that time, because remember, when you leave, like, some weird shit happened in that time frame, right? And we also got clean around that time too, right? So it's like, I don't know, just something weird happened. And I swear, remember I told you when that morning when I woke up and the light was there, and you know how they say they return you to your bed, and like nothing ever happened, right? What if there's a whole 20 years that went by, right? And then we were just put back in time. Oh, hi, Vibes. Vibes scared the shit out of me. I felt and heard that something creep up behind me. So now I'm thinking maybe, you know, one of the times we did this 20 and back shit. And this has happened more than once to me, where I woke up and I didn't know where I was, right? Or something weird happened. Like I woke up and just, I don't know. It was either an abduction but I don't think it was. I think maybe we were returned, right? Like we were returned to our beds after our 20 and back. So like we left to do the 20 and back, and that's around that same time period, right? We left, did our 20 years, apparently got married, had kids, and all this weird shit, and then we were age regressed, and then put back in time, and maybe when I was returned to my bed, someone almost caught me, because why else would Michael be there? Because remember, Michael was there. Maybe this is, I don't know, it's weird. I don't fucking know, you guys. I don't know. But I don't know. I know it's different with the archangels. Like, the whole, I don't know. I just, like, why do I see visions of me laying in my bed, and that other bed was empty? I had that room to myself for a long time. I thought that was odd too, right? And why do I see Twin A sleep, like, laying in that other bed? What the hell is he doing over there? And why are there people in the room? Why are there, like, I keep seeing, like, quick flashes of people, and it's like I'm not even supposed to see this stuff, but I'm like breaking through, right? And it's like Michael is trying to block this from me seeing it, and it's like that's why he's standing outside the room, like, no, you're not allowed to look in there quite yet, right? But maybe I'm starting to break through it, regardless whether he wants me to see it or not, right? So if that's the case, then we have what, like 10 years left or some shit, which fucking sucks. Well, like he said, though, he tells me that, you know, the archangels, it's different. It's not necessarily 20 years. It could be more than 20 years. It could be less than 20 years. It's different for us. We don't follow the same rules as the SSP, right? So, because that's a completely separate floor, or building, whatever the fuck. Just weird shit happened then, I'm telling you. And, like, I remember, when I was living at that house, like after I came in contact with Twin A, I started having weird shit happen to me. Like, I started getting vertigo when I went to sleep, right? It was because my body was leaving. Like my body was, I was having a lot of astral projections, I guess. Because right when you astral project, you if you're not aware of it, your body will it will float upside down, and so like that's what it feels like anyway. If you're not aware, and like my body, what I was doing, my body wasn't staying in my body. Like, you know what I mean? My consciousness wasn't staying in my body. Every single night I would go to sleep, and my consciousness would leave very quickly, and I was always wondering about that. And maybe it's because my body, myself wasn't grounded enough back into this reality, right? Because remember, we probably jumped up to 5D or whatever, or higher, right? And then we would come back down to 3D, and my body was not wanting to stay in this 3D. So every night, my consciousness would just, flip. It would leave my body quickly before it was time, before my body was really asleep. And it was really fucked up for me I had a really horrible sleep around that same time. And I remember telling people at Royal, like I just got the job there. I was working at Royal. And I was like, there's something wrong. I mean, like vertigo every night. And like, I feel like I'm being hung upside down and the blood's rushing to my head. And this happens every single night. And yeah, I understand now, because now it's all starting to make sense. I wasn't wanting to stay in my body, right? My consciousness was trying to leave. It didn't want to be in this dense place. So at night, this is what happens. And, I was aware of it, though, right? It was, I must have been, I'm telling you, we must have done our 20 and back then. This is what I'm getting. Big time. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Sorry, Michael L. Holy shit. I'm gonna say it again. Holy shit. No wonder I was so tired. Those last 10 years. And just even before. The thing is, he says we've been doing 20 backs our whole life. Like, but this is part of our light work, right? Okay. Yeah. Michael's telling me we've been doing our whole lives, but the entire time we've been doing it. Okay, he's saying our entire life we've been doing it. And more than that, but he just can't get into that right now because we can't comprehend it. And it was always us together. So he's saying that's why when we met, it was like like a big, like a gunshot to the heart, right? Like a firework, right? Because we already knew each other, right? That familiarity or whatever. He's saying, at the highest level, we are one being. So yeah, it's like you're meeting yourself again not for the first time, but many times over. Jesus. Are we on a 20 back right now then? Like if we keep doing this? No? Okay, good. I hope not. Because like, he's like, this is why you're becoming more powerful. And then now, like, this is why your powers are coming in now, because you're not spreading yourself too thin at this moment. But there was a lot of interference or something. Yeah, I'm just, I could go down this road for a long time, but I'll cut it short for now, and then I'll get it back into it once I, once I have more energy, because right now I'm kind of tired. I came back to talk more. What I mean is, yes, we are on a 20 back right now. We're on the other one, but what he's telling me, we would go on a 20 and back, and then we would come home, and then we would immediately go back on another one. And apparently, there's not a lot of beings that can do that. It depends on your bloodline, depends on who you are at the highest level, because some people can't do another one until that other 20 is completed. But we would keep going. Like as soon as we were returned, that's crazy. That's crazy, because like that would be like every day would be a new 20 and back then. He's like, now you're catching on. What the fuck? That is insane. That's a little much, no? He's like, you're gonna learn just who you really are. Jesus, you guys, this is crazy. Because think about it, if when you do 20 back, right? You're only really gone for one day, right? You return to the same spot you left. What the fuck? And then I don't know. This is crazy. He's like, yeah, this is yeah. Okay, so how many 20 backs are we doing right now then? If we kept going, and I'm not getting a response right now. He said, okay, so he's saying right now there's only one that's going on still. Okay. And that's the one that's very important. And apparently he said, even though we came back from that one, and it's running parallel with this one, we're actually jumping back and forth between that life and this life. I don't know. I don't get this part. He's saying, we are, like when we sleep, we are going to that life and stuff. We're, and even like when we're awake, apparently we are shifting into that life, but we don't even realize it. See, this is just too much for my brain to understand. He also says, though, that since we are all of us on this planet are multidimensional, we're living all of our lives right now anyway. So we're living tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of lives right now. But in regards to this 20 and back and this extra work that we're doing, because we're doing extra work while we're in this life, you know, all those other lives that we've lived, all of the lives we've ever lived or are going to live or have lived, we're living right now. But in regards to the 20 and back, that's still going on. But that timeline is so very important. And we're going to understand very soon why and all of that. So, but I'm catching on to the why. This is just fucking crazy. This is all so fucking crazy. He's telling me also that that everybody on this planet is involved in this shit. And I fucking knew it. I called it. Didn't I, you guys? Remember I said everyone's under ultra programming. You know, everyone's probably been a part of the SSP somewhere along the line. And I'm telling you, that's the case. I'm telling you, this whole earth is probably the SSP. It's an SSP program or some shit, right? Because remember, what do they do in the SSP? They, it's just like when you die in this planet, right? They erase your memory, right? And they send you back. But I think this is how this whole planet works. I think, like, you know, doesn't that sound familiar, you guys, right? Like they erase your memory and they send you back. Doesn't that sound like an Earth incarnation itself? Telling you, I'm getting close to the stuff that I should not be, like, usually not allowed to get close to, right? And I've already, you know, tapped into this before. And I knew people weren't ready for it. And, like, now I'm getting that people are, you know, most people, okay, so, like, there's a lot of people ready for it. There is not a lot of people ready for it, but it's, tough shit. Like, it's coming out. The truth is going to come out regardless of whether these people are ready or not. It's time, right? It's time. Because they're starting to hold back humanity, right? These people that don't want to wake up are holding us back now, right? It's not helping anything, right? It's making things worse, right? And we shouldn't suffer out of the ignorance of humanity, right? Because their traumas, they don't want to face their traumas, right? So we shouldn't have to suffer because they don't want to look at their dark side, right? Shit's getting deep, guys. It's getting deep. Damn, this is crazy. This is crazy. So, I mean, if everyone's part of ultra programming, that means everybody's been, you know, right? Wow. So this means, like, everybody's been abused and most likely been, you know, sexually abused as well. And this is probably, we all look weird upon sex because, like I said, it was flip-flopped, right? And I'm not saying this life necessarily, you know, we are multidimensional. So, you know, somewhere on these other timelines, these people that are living these other lives, they're probably being traumatized, right? And this stuff is coming up. Like we said, we are healing at a multidimensional level. So we can't hold it down anymore. My next video is going to be in regards to, remember how I had my little freak out? Well, like, I'm not, like, in that energy anymore. There was a lot of healing that went on. And I posted a little bit about that on my Instagram in regards to, shifting into my dragon form and, you know, Michael shifting into his dragon form, Lucifer shifting into his dragon form, and there's a merging, and a lot of hot and steamy stuff went on, and which equals, alchemy, which burns away trauma. Like, you can deal with trauma in different ways. You can do meditation, but you can also do sacred union, which is alchemy, right? When you come into a sacred union with your twin's higher self, or your twin, right? And they work with you in burning that trauma up, right? You burn it with your alchemy, right? The woman's water, right? He heats it up with his fire, right? Yeah, and there's the other elements are there too, but what's the end result is you burning that trauma. You're burning it into ash. You're burning yourself into ash, and like the phoenix, you are anew. You fly. Out of the ashes comes a phoenix, all brand spanking new, right? And like that phoenix is gonna get burned again, right? It's the new trauma that comes up, that phoenix will get burned again, but you use the alchemy to fix that, to transmute that, right? It's very interesting. Very interesting. Like I said, I don't know if some of these newer people that are coming and they haven't heard the past stuff where I talk about when I came into sacred union with Lucifer and I came into sacred union with Michael. They haven't they might not have heard those videos in regards to me coming into sacred union, which is sex, right? Sacred sex with Michael, and then coming into sacred union, sacred sex with Lucifer, right? And then the both of them, right? And then the awakening of Michael L. out of his stasis, right? So, some people might not have heard those stories. So if you haven't, go back and listen to that. I'll make a playlist for that because there's 2 different videos I talk about that. But last night, it got pretty hot and steamy again, but it was really, Lucifer was pleasantly surprised. Well, they both were pleasantly surprised about how fast I bounced back out of that. But apparently because me and Lucifer weren't doing our proper work in regards to healing his and my trauma, like the really bad stuff. That's when you hear Lucifer, I'm sure you know that there's a lot of trauma there, right? Not just of him being traumatized, but of him traumatizing others. And apparently I was there for all of that, right? And you guys, the trauma I'm speaking of, I'm not just speaking of physical abuse. I'm speaking about actual molestation and actual abuse. These children and babies were aped, right? And actually assaulted. I have to be careful about what I say here, right? So this is the trauma that I'm speaking of, that we are to heal, okay? And we're not just healing it in regards to our own trauma. We are healing the entire planet, and not just the planet, but the entire universe, apparently. So when it comes to this actual abuse and this actual trauma, no one wants to look at that. You know what I mean? That's like the stuff that we've started to do, and it's not fun at all. It's disgusting, and it's not something that we look forward to doing, but we have to do it. And the more that we we take our time, or save it for later, the more it's causing problems between the 3 of us, if that makes sense. It's causing us to be unbalanced, right? It's causing Michael and Lucifer to be unbalanced. So it's quite interesting how it's like they're not, it's so hard to explain. But like we're supposed to be working together to balance each other out, and we have to balance. The only way we can balance each other out is by healing everything, right? Which brings us back into balance. But to get there, we have to look at this disgusting stuff, and it's time to do that. And like I said, I'm gonna get into that more into detail about that. It's gonna be a hard video for me to make because it's like stuff I don't want to talk about, but I'm gonna talk about it because I have to. Because this is the stuff that everyone's going to have to go through. Everyone's going to have to do this eventually. I mean, I don't know about every single person, because I know there's people that just aren't going to do it, right? So that's why we have extra work to do. But in regards to us light warriors, right, I'm going to have to get into the details. And it's, you know, I'm just giving you guys a warning. It's disgusting, but it's something we cannot avoid anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of this voice recording. I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of it. And then we're going to make a whole new video in regards to that. So because we weren't doing that work, I mean, who wants to do that? Who wants to do that work, right? No one. And we weren't really realizing it, that we were letting this trauma, you know, get to us too bad. So it started affecting Michael and Lucifer's relationship, right? And I'll get into this in this next video, but really quick, you remember how Lucifer was like, Michael was giving him those threatening looks, right? And he was saying, you know, don't even think about it, right? It wasn't out of jealousy, nor was it out of being possessive. He was just letting Lucifer know not to come at me like he was, right? Like, you know how he said I was going to have a nervous breakdown? Lucifer was totally misunderstanding what Michael was upset about, right? And this is what happens when we are unbalanced. A lot of miscommunication, right? Thinking someone's feeling one way when they're not. A lot of misunderstandings are going on, and they have been going on, right? Because we've been off balance because of this whole, and it's just, it's so fascinating to see how these brothers have been misunderstanding each other. But like I said, we're going to get into all that. Sorry, I'm going back into the original voice recording. This is an editing nightmare, by the way. So just bear with me, guys, please. Not understanding that Michael was he was basically getting mixed. He wasn't understanding what Michael was upset about. It had nothing to do with Lucifer stepping in to be with me, or he wasn't jealous or anything like that. He says, yeah, when it comes to different guys or a different being, then yes. But when it comes to Lucifer, no, because he is Lucifer, right? He is Lucifer, and he is me. So it's like, last night when stuff went down, it was really, really interesting. Like, Michael was like, you know, calling Lucifer over to get involved, right? And he's like, wait, what? He's like, Lucifer, you like, what's going on with you? You know that I would not getting jealous of you. You are me, right? When you're touching her, that's me touching her. He's like, you have healing to do, and because you're not healing, it's messing you up. It's messing up everything about you. Like, you're not. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Okay, he's like, I wasn't jealous of you stepping up to take the reins or whatever. I just didn't want you going about that in the way that you were going about it. It's getting really juicy, isn't it? But yeah, it got it got extremely yeah. I'm gonna save it for the next video, guys. Sorry, I know you want to hear this, and I'm gonna try to go get it up fast. That was Michael. You can tell, right? Oh my gosh. That was Lucifer. See, they're coming in right now. You know, I'm going to have them talk with me about this, what happened last night, because it was really, like I said, it was really hot and steamy, guys. Yeah, we're gonna talk with her too about it. This is Lucy. Yeah, my brother put me back in my place last night, and I'm so glad he did. We had quite the night. Michael's coming through. Hold on, you guys. Yeah, what we're going to talk about, guys, is it's going to be surprising for a lot of people, especially if they have not heard these past videos in regards to sacred union and what that is. It's Eros Gamos, right? It is the re-emerging of higher dimensional beings, a being, right? Depends on who you are at the highest level. It is the re-merge, marriage, the coming back together in holy, sacred union, right? And how do you do that? Through sacred sex. And we'll get into that in the next video. So, we'll talk to you guys soon. Well, that's all for now, you guys. And real quick, the next video is going to be in regards to sacred union and the healing powers of sacred union, which I have covered before. And I just find it so fascinating that the means into traumatizing us was through what? Through this ultra programming, through actual trauma, right? And it's so interesting how the way we heal that is through sacred sex. So it's like we have to flip it around, right? We were, you know, we're, like I've said many times before, we've been programmed to look at sex as something dirty. We've been, you know, those of us who've been through this really horrific trauma, we don't even want to go near that, right? You know, pain is pleasure, pleasure is pain. So it's like we have to face our fears in regards to sex and look at it for what it really is. And it is a tool, not just for pleasure, right? But it's for healing as well. It literally is an alchemical process. So it is very powerful. And no wonder they've made us look at sex like this, right? Like it's something dirty. But it's not. With the right partner, it can be very healing. It is a tool for manifestation. And it can be it's sensual, erotic. And there's a lot that I'm learning in regards to it. And it's, and you know, what better way to heal with your lover, to heal past trauma that you've dealt with your lover, and that's how you get to heal it too, right? But we've got to do it in the right way, you know. Yeah, and it's fascinating that, you know, I'm healing this sexual trauma through sacred sexual union with the same person who sexually traumatized me. So it's quite it's quite ironic, right? But it is what it is. And you know, that's why only the strong make it out of here, right? And that's why us seraphim end up, like I've said many times before, this is why we end up where we end up, right? Because the shit that we had to go through, right? I love you guys. That's it for now, but we're going to get into all that in the next video, and it's going to get very hot and juicy, and we're going to get very candid. But like I said, it's not going to be all juicy. There's going to be some stuff that's going to be like, right? But we have to look at it because no one's really talking about this stuff. And this is the biggest thing that we need to heal. We need to heal from the sexual trauma, right? And no one else is going there. So I guess I gotta do it. At least I gotta be one of the people that does that, you know? I know there's others out there, but no one wants to touch this stuff. You know, it's icky. It's ugh. That's enough for now, you guys. I love you. Shields up, swords up. Let's get it.